I like Shax. He doesn't mess around.
What's up, guys? It's Techno Viking 23 coming at you with another Destiny video today. And we're in the tower. We're hanging out with Executor Hideo here with the new Monarchy. Over by the speakers area of the tower, the little new Monarchy lounge here that overlooks the city. Nice little view there. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to bring you a little, kind of a, I don't know, it's not really a guide, just a little commentary here about new Monarchy. I actually have switched over to them. I used to level up the Future War Cult, but have since come over to new Monarchy, if I could talk, because I think they have some of the better actual vendor crucible weapons here, and also some pretty decent armor. Now, I've managed to acquire quite a bit of their gear, so we're gonna just take a look at what I have from new Monarchy here. And in terms of armor, the only thing I have is the chest piece. I actually got this from one of their packages. I think it was the rank 4 package. It looks pretty cool. It's pretty, you know, just your typical Titan armor. The only thing I kind of don't like about it is it's got this weird little kind of fin in the back. I really don't, you know, I'm not sure what that's for. I wish that wasn't there, but overall it looks pretty cool. And it's a decent chest piece. You got 76 discipline, 79 intellect, so that's good for your grenades and your super. Strength is good if you're playing a melee build, but I like my grenades to be up faster, my super to regenerate faster as well. And this has got both auto rifle and sniper rifle ammunition capacity, which is great because those are two of the weapons I use most often in the game. Overall, pretty nice little chest piece there. Now, this is the Crusader. This is the scout rifle you get from new Monarchy. You can get a vendor version, which I'll show you here in a second. This one I actually got from the very first package they sent me at rank 3. And I'm kind of glad because the vendor one is kind of, it's okay. It's not that great, but I did get some really good perks on this one. First of all, I got some nice scopes that I really do like. The quick draw is one of my favorite. It works really nicely even on close quarters maps. And I got a couple of more long range sights here. Focused lens. And then the range lens RLS3. But I like to use the quick draw sight. That seems to work out pretty well. But got luck in the chamber, which is a great little perk, especially with this gun since it's only got a 14-round magazine. One random bullet in the magazine will cause extra bonus damage, which is really nice. And that's more effective if you have a smaller magazine, because if you have like a 30 or 40-round magazine, obviously that perk's not going to fire off too much. And then I've got high caliber rounds, which are pretty nice. They can stagger targets in PvE, which is pretty good. Explosive rounds, this is one of my favorite perks. This is really great. Comes in handy for the Abyss part of the raid. In the Crota raid, you can stagger the thralls and just get a little bit extra damage with explosive rounds. They're really great. Custom optics, I really don't know why this is here or why they have this perk on a lot of these guns. It says for better zoom, but you know, most of these guns zoom in pretty well with the scopes they already have. I don't really find, I've never used this perk. I've used it sparingly just to kind of test it out, but it just doesn't seem that good. And then rangefinder, aiming this weapon increases effective range, which basically, so if you aim down sights, you're gonna have a less of a damage drop off with that, which is really a nice little perk there. So overall, really happy. I leveled this one up immediately. It's a great gun. I use it in PvE. I use it in the Crucible also in more wide open maps with longer sight lines. Great little gun right here. And then of course, also got the Vanquisher, the Vanquisher 8. This is one of the last few high-impact auto rifles that's available from a vendor in the game. And you can also get this from, you know, the Cryptarch, or I believe the Nightfall Strikes will drop these sometimes. Kind of mixed feelings on this so far. I didn't really care much for the scopes that this comes with. There's a red dot scope that I really like, but this obviously didn't come with that version of it. The best for stability is either the red dot or the steady hand. And these are both kind of, I'm just not a real huge fan of these. They both occupy a big part of your screen when you're trying to use them. So not real happy with the scopes. This is the vendor version, by the way, also. This is the one you can actually buy from new Monarchy. So it's okay. I was really excited to get it because of the high impact up here. You can see the higher impact and the lower rate of fire. It's more in line with like a Shadow Price type of gun. And I was really excited to get it, but this 22-round magazine has just been a complete hindrance in PvE. Haven't really used this much in Crucible yet because I kind of have my favorite hand cannon, and you know, now I have Suros, so there's really no reason to use anything else. Unfortunately, I was real excited when I bought this weapon, and then a couple nights later I got Suros Regime from a Rock Strike drop, and that kind of pretty much negated any reason to use the Vanquisher. because Suros is just, in my opinion, the superior auto rifle to pretty much everything that's out there. Now you do have single point sling and fitted stock and high caliber rounds, which are okay. Fitted stock is almost a necessity if you want to have your maximum stability on this weapon. Glass half full is pretty decent. Bottom half of the magazine gives you a little bit more damage. It's not a ton of damage, but it is nice, and that is one kind of perk of having the smaller magazine, is you get to take advantage of that a little bit more often. But the reload speed on this isn't great unless you have some reload perks on your armor. And overall, I've just found it to be just kind of disappointing, really. I mean, it's a good gun, has good impact, and you can take enemies down fast. But I like to have a little bit bigger magazine. Now, this thing is just a beast. This is the Purifier 7. This is a fusion rifle. I got this from an engram from the Cryptarch. And this gun is just ridiculous. It's got some nice sights on it. You got the steady hand. You've got the red dot OES, which that's actually my favorite scope to get on auto rifles right there, the red dot OES. I wish the Vanquisher had that one. And then you've got the red dot OAS, which is, I've been kind of going back and forth between these two. But just look at the range on this thing and the impact. It's crazy. And you look at your hip fire. This weapon has bonus accuracy while firing from the hip, so you don't even really have to aim it. And I use this in quite a few of my videos, so you guys can see how effective it is. And this thing has great perks. Flared magwell, you can go max reload on this thing. But I use Send It, and you can see the normal range there drops off quite a bit, but you get Send It on this thing, and you can use this thing across the map in both Crucible and in PvE. Just a great weapon. Knee pads is kind of a cool perk for Crucible, lets you slide a little bit further. And then, of course, your damage trees. But this is a great-looking gun. It's really powerful. It's very useful, especially in those arc burn weeklies or nightfalls. Just melts enemies. I actually started using this versus this. I have the Plug 1 almost leveled up all the way. This is another amazing fusion rifle that has, you can look up there at the range. It's insane. This has got Send It perk as well, which I've been using over Enhanced Battery. But that was my favorite fusion rifle until I picked up the Purifier. And you kind of compare the stats, and I know Plug 1's not leveled up, but that's mainly just the damage that hasn't been leveled. But you can see the only difference really is Plug 1 reloads faster and has a little bit lower stability. But both of those are great fusion rifles, and I love the Purifier. It's just, I don't use it much in Crucible because I'm not a big fan of fusion rifles in Crucible, but for PvE it just absolutely destroys stuff. And then this is the Prestige 4. I also got this from an engram with the Cryptarch. It's another new Monarchy. It's a heavy machine gun, and I've leveled this up all the way. I kind of wish I hadn't wasted the Ascended energy on it. It's not that great. You'll see it's got magazine size of 87, so it's one of those very high rate of fire. Low. The impact's decent, but the stability is where this gun just is completely terrible. And I do have this maxed out, so I'll probably do a weapon review. But I am planning on dismantling this to get some Ascended energy to level up some of my other weapons. This has just been completely useless. And I did get super good advice from an exotic bounty, which is also a low stability machine gun, but it's actually quite a bit better than the Prestige. Now, we'll look at the vendor version also. This is, like I said, one I got from the Cryptarch. And, you know, I didn't get that many good perks on it either. You've got Flared Magwell, but you notice how big of a range penalty you get if you use that. And overall, this is just not a very good, the only good perk on here really is Surplus, because I find more heavy ammo whenever I'm using this thing. But overall, very disappointing. Heavy machine gun. I've got Against All Odds, which just blows this out of the water. And then MG18, another great machine gun. But like I was telling you, super good advice. You look at Super Good Advice, which is considered to be one of the, you know, not as great of an exotic. It was a really bad stability machine gun before. I don't even have this leveled up at all. I've got the first perk unlocked, and that's it. And you can just see already how much better the stability is right out of the box than the Prestige. So that's why I don't use this very much. It's not very good. And then let's see. This I got in my last package from New Monarchy. This is the Admonisher 3. This is their rocket launcher. This is not available from the vendor. I believe you can only get this as a drop in the game and also from the Cryptarch. Pretty interesting looking rocket launcher. I'm going to level it up. You know, the perks are okay. Stability, I don't find that very usable on a rocket launcher because you've got plenty of time between shots to kind of refocus your sights. It does have Field Scout, so I'm interested to see if that'll be 2 or 3 shots in the tube. But it's a really kind of a cool looking rocket launcher, so I'll probably keep this and level it up and see if it's any good. And again, you cannot get that from the vendor. That's one of the weird things about the factions is they do have weapons that you cannot buy directly from them. And then we already looked at the armor. So that's pretty much what I have, and I've got some of those equipped so we can compare. So you can see this is my Vanquisher on the left, which is fully leveled up compared to the one here. Now that's weird. That's got a... I wonder why the rate of fire on that's so much higher. Oh, I'm comparing it to... I'm comparing the wrong weapons. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, man, that's a fail. Okay, so here we go. I compared my Vanquisher to that one, and you can see where I've upgraded the stability on mine on the left there compared to the vendor version. Now we can swap back to the Crusader. Okay, here we go. So this is my Crusader versus the one that they sell. Now you notice mine has a little bit faster reload. Theirs has a little bit better stability. But what really, the perks on this, the vendor version, are not that great. Rodeo, which reduces severity of weapons recoil. This is on a scout rifle, to me, is kind of useless because, again, you've got plenty of time between shots to settle the sight down. And snapshot, this can be okay. This can come in handy in PvP, not so much in PvE, especially on a scout rifle. Send it's pretty good. You get maximum range. And then armor-piercing rounds. This is a pretty solid perk. So these two are pretty good. You can kind of pick which one you want to use there. Mulligan, missing a shot, is a chance to return ammunition directly to the magazine. Decent perk. But overall, compared to the drop version I got, this is just not that great. So, you know, you can kind of hope maybe you get one from a package or an engram, but I'm not a big fan of the vendor version. The shotgun, Judgment 6. This is actually a pretty good shotgun. I don't have this. I have a friend who's got this, and he really likes it, but he got his as a drop, and he's got some really good perks on it. You know, kills with this weapon grant bonus ammunition directly back to your magazine. That's a good perk. Quick draw, obviously. Aiming this weapon is incredibly fast. Single point sling. So these are all mainly weapon switching perks or aiming perks that help you, aim and use the shotgun a little bit faster. Spray and play and reload speeds faster with the mag's empty. So these are okay. They're not the best shotgun perks, and there's better vendor shotguns available. But it's okay. It's a solid shotgun if you do get this. Pretty good impact. Rate of fire is a little on the slow side, but not a bad gun. And finally, here's the Prestige 4.
All units reported. Tower sector all clear. Perimeter clear.
No, not too bad.
Till the next time.
So that might actually be worth taking a look at. But anyways, guys, that's been just kind of showing off some of my new Monarchy gear there. I'll probably do one of these for some of the Iron Banner stuff I have too. But, New Monarchy's a pretty good faction overall. They have some decent weapons. More so, I think every faction's kind of got its, sleeper weapon. Like, the Future War Call's got the Chance hand cannon, which is pretty good. Dead Orbit, I believe the Deviant, I think it's called Deviant Gravity. It's their heavy machine gun, is pretty nice from the vendor. But overall, I think, you come to New Monarchy, they've got a pretty solid, 3 of their 4 here. I'm not a big fan of the Crusader from the vendor, but 3 of these 4 are pretty solid weapons overall. And I think, overall they've got the best selection. Their armor is going to be intellect and strength, which is decent for melee if you like to kind of get up close with your Titan or whatever class you're using. You kind of see some of their gear there. But I've got Iron Banner and some raid gear for my armor, so I really haven't been trying to grind out any of this gear. I really just switched to them mainly to get the Vanquisher, and then found a couple of other weapons that dropped for me, and kind of enjoyed them. So I'm still trying to level them up as a faction. They've got a really neat faction ship, too, that you can get from the packages. If you guys didn't know, all the factions added in actually ships that you can get, and shaders as well. But you can only get those in the random packages they send you, unfortunately. I really wish they'd add a little bit more gear to the menu here for the faction vendors, but this is what we've got, so New Monarchy is pretty good for that. So anyways, guys, it's been Techno Viking 23 showing you off a little bit of my New Monarchy gear here. I'm going to go ahead and sign off from the tower. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you again next time.